Hello my friends, as promised today we're continuing with the unboxings and I'm so excited for you to see some of these pieces. I have a new bag from The Row to unbox with you. I have some new pieces from Paris, which if you follow me on Instagram you can probably already guess the type of pieces that we'll be looking at. And then I also have some divine new silk pieces which I am so excited for you to see. So without further ado, if you'd like to chat about the latest and greatest additions to my collection, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching. Let's dive straight in. And I wanted to start with some of the new silk pieces that I picked up. And this portion of today's video is really kindly sponsored by Lily Silk. You guys know that I don't take sponsorships often. I would never come on here and recommend for you to buy something that I personally wouldn't feel comfortable spending my own money on. But Lily Silk is a brand that I love. I have been a fan and a customer of them way before I even started doing YouTube. So it's a brand that I adore and I'm always so excited to share their latest pieces with you. And today I wanted to share with you not only some new pieces, but also some great news because Lily Silk is going to be having a huge sale this month. They are celebrating their 12th birthday, so they're going to be not only doing huge discounts but also gifts with purchases, and they were kind enough to give me a discount code that is going to save you some additional money on top of their already discounted pieces. So I'll make sure to have my discount code linked in the info box for you. But I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. What if you have never heard of Lily Silk? Lily Silk is a brand that actually specializes in creating the highest quality mulberry silk pieces. They do everything under the sun that you could possibly make out of silk, from homeware through bedding all the way to silk accessories and ready to wear. And you're probably tired of seeing me in Lily Silk pieces because I wear their shirts pretty much in every other video of mine. I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts from them, which is in their so-called business formal silk, which gives you all the benefits of silk. So it's lightweight, it's incredibly soft and silky against the skin. It feels unbelievably luxurious, but it has a more matte finish to it, which personally, when it comes to more formal pieces, I appreciate. And even though some Lily Silk pieces will have that traditional luxurious silk luster that you often associate with silk, I personally appreciate this more matte finish because you're not losing out on any of the benefits of silk, but you just have a more interesting textured look. So I love these shirts. I have this one with the pockets. I have another black one without the collar, so I knew I had to get another one. And this time I got a shirt with the same color detail, the same pockets on the front, but in this beautiful, rich, rusty olive green color. And this shirt is actually short sleeved. I love this black shirt. This is pretty much the piece that got me through the heat wave because you can dress an outfit up with this piece without adding any heat or any additional layers that would make you boil in your own skin. So I love this, but I wanted to get another shirt that perhaps had short sleeves. I feel like there are very few brands that can do a short sleeve shirt well for men, but Lily Silk did not disappoint. I love this shirt because this is one of those pieces that you can dress up really easily, but you can also dress down. Today I'm going for a more preppy sort of country club look with a pair of navy linen pants, but it's one of those pieces that will look just as incredible as a beach cover up to the pool or obviously to the beach. Even though it is a piece that was aimed at men, I think it is definitely unisex because the fit is so incredibly flattering. So I cannot wait to get some more wear out of this summer because I love these shirts so much. So this was the first piece that I picked up from Lily Silk, and as I said, they're going to be having a huge sale this month. So if you have always wanted to buy some silk pieces that won't break the bank, this is your chance, and all of my discount codes will be listed down below for you in case you'd like to save some additional money. Moving on to another silk accessory, which I've never actually purchased for myself. It's something that I have bought as a gift probably 10 times before, and it makes the most incredible gift for other people, but you also deserve to treat yourself. So I ended up getting myself a new silk eye mask, which obviously goes perfectly with my silk pillowcases. And this has been life-changing. I don't know what I've been waiting for, because this is just the most luxurious experience after having a long day. Going to bed and putting your head down on the softest, most luxurious silk pillowcase and putting this over your eyes is just like, I mean, if this doesn't make you feel like a king or a queen, I don't know what will. And let's not forget to mention that it also works incredibly well as an eye mask, because if you have a partner, a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, or a boyfriend who loves staying up later than you do, if they want to stay on their phone, their iPads, if they want to continue watching TV, but it gives you a hard time falling asleep, this is something that is going to be life changing, because it works incredibly well as an eye mask, but because it's so soft and so luxurious, it's not going to make you feel claustrophobic. I've had some of those eye masks that just stick to your eyes. Those were a little bit too intense for me, but this, because it's so silky, is just the most beautiful sleeping experience. So whether you're looking for a treat for yourself or the most beautiful luxurious gift, these are something that you cannot go wrong with. And I also purchased something that is definitely one of the biggest trends for the summer, but it's not something that previously I would have felt comfortable buying into, just because I don't necessarily have a head for head. And this is not a piece that I feel like I would be able to pull off on a daily basis. If you look great in a hat, by all means, this is an incredible piece, but I actually bought this with more of a beachy vacation in mind. So this is, let me show you, this reversible bucket hat, which on one side has a cotton finish, and then on the other it is lined, of course, in 100% mulberry silk, which actually has this really cool retro sort of 80s tennis club print, which I think is so cool. Personally, because I'm not a big print person, I would wear it with the solid side out, and I would just have this as a pop-up print. I'm so excited to go to the beach or go to the pool or go on a walk and be able to wear this. I'll definitely keep you posted on Instagram on how I style this. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but if you go to the beach a lot, if you have a pool, if you have a garden where you work, I think investing in one of those pieces is a great idea, because you definitely want to protect your face from the sun as much as you can, but why not stay stylish while you're doing it? So I'm really excited to start taking advantage of this piece. And again, if you have an amazing head shape for a hat, you can definitely wear this in the city too. Personally, I don't, but I've always wanted to buy a bucket hat that I can use when it gets really hot out and I feel like sunscreen just simply cannot do the job on its own. So I'm really excited to start using my beautiful new Lily Silk pieces. Thank you so much again to Lily Silks for sponsoring this portion of today's video, and congratulations on your 12th birthday. All the details will be listed and linked down below, including my discount code, which is amazing that you can use on top of all the discounted pieces. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at some of the pieces that I actually got from Paris. If you're wondering if you're going to be getting a Paris shopping vlog from me, I have to disappoint you. Unfortunately, I did not make it to Paris, which if you follow me on Instagram, you already know the whole story, so I don't want to bore you with the details. But I was supposed to be going to Paris last week, but we simply couldn't find someone. Well, it's not the whole truth. I just simply didn't trust anyone to look after the baby beast, so my husband had to go by himself. But I did send a brief little shopping list with him and asked him to look at a couple of things that I feel like I would have a hard time buying outside of Paris, or things that I was really excited to buy while I was there. And the pieces or the brand that I wanted to go and see was actually Celine. Now, Celine used to be one of my most favorite brands back in the day when it was still Phoebe who was designing for the brand. These days I just don't see Celine as the Celine I used to love. To me, Celine has become sort of Saint Laurent 2.0 with the most subtle little motifs of Celine. I just don't see it as the same brand that I used to love. So there were no ready-to-wear pieces, and of course no bags on the list. Only a couple of smaller pieces that I felt were quite specific to Paris. The first one was one of Celine's fragrances, which they do sell online, but you can, I think, only find them in person in Paris and in London. And last December, this was on my list of pieces to look at, but I never got the time. So I thought it would be romantic to ask for a fragrance. I didn't specify which one I wanted. I just said, please smell all of them if you have the time, and buy the one that you think would suit me the most. I should know better by now, because I ended up with a fragrance that is called, I think it is called Night Clubbing. So it comes in the most beautiful packaging. That's not something I have any issues with. It comes in this paper box, and then inside you have the most beautiful fluted heavy bottle, and the fragrance is called Night Clubbing. Now, just starting with the name, and I don't want to sound or seem ungrateful, I am incredibly thankful for this fragrance, but night clubbing and me don't really mix. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't dance, and I haven't been to a nightclub in about 10 years, but I thought maybe it's going to be a nice smoky scent, or it's going to be more on the boozy side, both of which are notes that I appreciate. This, I have no idea why they named night clubbing, because it has nothing to do with the nightclub, at least not the nightclubs that I've been to in my youth. This fragrance reminds me of sort of a ladies who lunch, but a lady who goes to luncheons wearing Saint Laurent leather and a mini Kelly. It's just not really my scent. Even though it is a line of unisex fragrances, to me this scent isn't unisex, and you guys know I don't think that fragrances should have a gender. To me, this is really quite a feminine scent. It is really warm, and it has definitely a vanilla base to it, but it is quite powdery at the end, and the powderiness never goes away. It is beautiful, it's chic, but it is just simply not me. So I'm grateful that I've had the chance to try it and smell it for myself, but it actually reminds me of a friend of mine who I think will be receiving this. I'll ask her if she wants it, even though I sprayed this, but it is not something that I feel like I would ever wear. The two that I am planning on getting online, which I should have just done in the first place, but I'm going to be getting, I think there's one called Reptile, which I'm tempted by, and then there's another one, which is I think either called Tuxedo or Black Dye. Those two I'm going to order online, and actually what I found out is that when you order them online, you get a tiny little sample, so you get to smell them before you actually open the packaging. So if you don't like them, you can easily return them because you've only just smelled the samples. But night clubbing is just simply not a scent for me. If you like a more traditional scent that is warm, that is kind of powdery, that is incredibly elegant, and just has the most subtle hint of kind of a dirty smoke, you're going to love this. It is beautiful, but it is unfortunately just simply not me. The two other pieces that were on my list of pieces to look at Celine were actually both for the baby boy. They were not for me. The first one, why didn't I start with the piece that we didn't end up buying, but I actually shared a picture of a similar piece on my Instagram, which is the new Celine dog bowl. They launched recently an entire pet collection, which included some dog bowls, which I was incredibly tempted by. They have two different versions that feature the Celine trunk with two stainless steel bowls. They have one that has two bowls, and then they have one that just has a single one, which is the one that I was after, because the baby beast doesn't use a bowl for eating. He only uses it for water. He eats out of a Kong toy. He always does something that is a little bit more engaging than just simply eating out of a bowl. We hide his food around the home. We put it in, I think it's called a sniffle mat, where you can hide food so he has to forage for it. We always try to do something that is a little bit more fun and entertaining than just simply putting his food in a bowl. So I thought it would be kind of pointless to get a dog bowl with two separate bowls in there. I just thought it would look silly when it comes to him. I think it's beautiful if you feed your dog out of a bowl, or if you have two dogs, but if you're only going to use it for water, I just thought it would be pointless. So we were after the single dog bowl, which they didn't have in stock. They only had the double version, which I just didn't see the point of buying. So that's something that I'll have to order online, or just keep my eyes out for that piece to become available. I haven't actually checked if it is available right now. I haven't had the time, but that's something that I am going to be hunting down. And then the other piece, which thankfully was in stock, came in this beautiful little dust bag, which is definitely really fancy, especially considering what's in here. So let me show you probably the fanciest dog chew toy that you've ever seen, which is this Celine Triumph inspired rubber chew toy, which I filmed the unwrapping of this a couple of days ago just because I wanted to give this to the baby, because I wanted to see how it would hold up. He's been playing with this for the past couple of days and it's held up, I would say, pretty well. He usually goes through chew toys relatively fast. He's a strong chewer, he's going to be a big boy. So I thought it might end up falling apart, but it hasn't. Now, don't think that I'm trying to justify the price tag because I know it is insane to spend this much money on a chew toy. But I'm just saying that if you have a larger dog who you want to treat, who is a more intense biter, this I have high hopes for. I would have thought that this would have fallen apart by now, but it's still intact. And what's interesting about this is that he's been intrigued by this from the minute I pulled this out of the bag, even though it's not technically scented and it doesn't say online that this would be flavored. So I was worried that he wouldn't care about it, but he's been obsessed with it since the first time I pulled this out of the bag. So it is a great chew toy for you to try, especially if you'd like to treat your baby. And it's definitely something that we are both incredibly happy with. Moving on, I actually have two pieces to show you from the row. Not only one as advertised, there is a piece that I bought right after I filmed my wishlist video, which I'll make sure to link up here. If you're interested in seeing my 2022 updated wishlist and some of the new shopping habits that I would like to build, I would definitely suggest that you check out that video of mine. And I have to say a huge thank you to all of you for all the lovely feedback I got. I was nervous uploading that video because I know that you guys come here for unboxings and haul videos, which are clearly not going anywhere, but I definitely want to tweak them. And actually, one thing that I came up with that I feel like we should do is I should probably do once a month a video when I come back with an update for you guys. I could share with you some pieces that I purchased recently and I could update you on how I got on with them. I could perhaps do maybe a monthly favorites and fails, just showcasing the pieces that I acquired recently. If that's something that you'd find helpful, definitely let me know in the comment section or just give this video a thumbs up. But I thought that that might be helpful and that would also force me to actually reach for and use my latest pieces. And we could definitely start with this video if you'd like me to trial these pieces and some other pieces that you haven't seen or I showed you earlier. Let me know, we can definitely do that. But anyway, let's cut to the chase. So this next piece was on my wish list. I mentioned it in a video of mine, and even though I knew I was going to buy it, I didn't expect to buy it as soon as I actually did. But as I was editing that video of mine, I came across this piece with such an incredible discount that it would have been a sin to leave it there, which is going to be a pair of shoes. And it is from The Row. So let me pull this box open, which seems like a challenge. It's a proper workout trying to open this box. Okay, I managed to get in there. So let me show you the latest addition to my shoe collection and the first ever pair of sneakers that I've purchased from The Row, which are their so-called Dean sneakers. These are some of their most classic styles that are, of course, inspired by the Celine skater shoes that were designed by Phoebe for Celine. And I kept referring to these shoes in my wishlist video as the Marie sneakers, which they're technically called the Marie sneakers for women, and then these are called the Dean for men. But to be honest with you, I cannot find any differences between these shoes online, based on the pictures at least. If you're familiar with these shoes, let me know if there's a big difference. But the only difference that I can find is that the Marie sneakers range between size 35 to 42, and then the Dean sneakers come in sizes between 40 to 46. And as I was editing that video of mine, I realized my mistake, and as soon as I searched for the Dean sneakers by The Row, these came up with such an incredible discount that I simply couldn't leave them there. These shoes are really simple. They're classic, timeless slip-on skater shoes. And if you are as big of a fan of the old school Celine skater shoes as I am and I was, these are definitely shoes that you have to check out. They are by no means identical to the Celine ones. These are a lot more pointy and elongated, but they are kind of a similar idea, and I feel like they would add a similar facet to your collection. If anything, I feel like these might be a little bit easier to dress up just because of the more pointy toe. They're really simple. There's really not much that I can say about these other than the fact that they come both in suede and in canvas, and I think the denim ones also come in leather, which I knew I wasn't interested in. I was going back and forth between the canvas and the suede, and I was actually more drawn to the canvas version just because I wear these shoes so much. At least when it comes to the Celine ones, I used to wear those so often that I thought canvas would be more hard wearing. Now the only thing that I preferred about the suede shoes is that they actually had a white sole, whereas this one came with a black sole, and I rarely, if ever, do all black shoes just because I do so many monochromatic all black outfits. I like to add a touch of white with either the entire sneaker or with just at least the sole. I feel like it helps to elevate the outfit, but these I got at such an amazing discount that I was like, right, let me give these a try, and if I end up loving them, I'll also buy the suede ones with the white sole. And so far so good. I haven't worn them out, but I have already treated them with my Hermes treatment spray just because they're canvas. They're obviously going to be more prone to getting dirty and getting marks on them, but these are definitely a pair of shoes that I'm really excited about, and hopefully we have found an alternative to my beloved but at this point discontinued Celine skater shoes. And last but not least, the cherry on top, a bag that I talked to you about, I want to say a couple of weeks ago at this point. I mentioned this bag, I think it was in my most used bags or my most used bags of 2022 so far video, and I told you guys that I had ordered this bag, and even though I've had this for a couple of weeks now, I wanted to wait to do a collective unboxing for you, even though this is definitely a bag that I could do a dedicated video on, which if that's something that you would be interested in, let me know in the comment section. I'd be happy to do so. But this bag is also from The Row, which came in this dust bag, and you probably won't be surprised to see that I picked up their infamous banana bag, but it's not the banana bag that most people are familiar with. So the original banana bag came in 2 different sizes in leather, but I wanted to use this as a dog walking bag, so I thought getting it in canvas or in this nylon fabric would be a little bit more user friendly, but it is not the nylon that I expected to receive. So this nylon, even though it is incredibly hard wearing, it is really tightly woven, at least it feels hard wearing, is more matte, which I feel like is going to make it harder to clean than a nylon that has a more shiny finish to it. And then you might be thinking, well, if you wanted to get a bag that's easy to use and that's fuss free, why would you go for such a light color? Well, let me tell you why. So the nylon bag is a more recent addition to the banana bag family, and it only comes in one size. I thought that this bag would be more comparable to the small banana bag, but it actually isn't. Based on the measurements that I can find online, just because there isn't a Row boutique near me that carries the banana bag range, I wasn't able to go and see these pieces for myself in person. I can really only base my review on what I'm able to find online, and based on the measurements that I can find, which let me tell you are really confusing because depending on which retailer you look at, each one of them will have completely different measurements for the exact same bags. But based on the pictures, there is a small leather banana bag, there is a large leather banana bag, and this seems to be right in the middle. So this is definitely a lot bigger than the small banana, but it's still a tiny bit smaller than the large version in the leather. And when I ordered this a few weeks ago, this was one of the only options. They had this bag in this color, which is called Dune. They had it in a khaki color. I think they had it in brown. And I want to say they had it in a more caramel sort of camel color. But I ended up opting for this shade because I thought that for dog walking it would be nice. Most of my dog walking outfits, believe it or not, are not black anymore, just because Pi has such a light fur that if I wear black I have to carry him sometimes. It gets covered in his hair and it's really obvious. So I have quite a few lighter colored outfits, which is why I loved having the Evelyn bag as my dog walking bag for a while, because it was in a more lighter tone. So I felt it went with most of my neutral outfits, which is the reason I ordered this, or one of the reasons. The other is that I didn't realize that this bag comes in black. When I was doing research on this bag, I did come across one picture of this bag in black. It was on the Rose official website, but it was at the very bottom of the site and it wasn't an option to be ordered. So I thought that it was probably from previous season and it's no longer around. Well, now I know that it's actually new season. That's why it wasn't available yet. When I sat down to do this video for you guys, I wanted to look up the measurements for this just so I can give them to you. And I actually realized that now the black is available again across several different sites. But I am actually kind of tempted to keep this bag in this shade just because I don't see myself buying any colorful bags that are more expensive. So I feel like this would be a great way to infuse some color into my collection without breaking the bank. So anyway, I am pretty happy with this dune color, even though it's different from what I expected, because I thought that this would be one of those really easy and fuss-free nylon bags, which so far it doesn't seem like it, just because where this bag was folded in the box, I can already see some creases on the bag, really slight and subtle creases. I'll try to show them to you over the camera, which I'm not even sure if you're going to be able to see, but I don't think it's one of those nylon bags that are quite as easy to look after as a nylon bag from, let's say, Prada. But anyway, I like the shape, even though it's a lot bigger than what I expected. So I like the bag, I'm happy with this purchase, but I actually don't see myself using this as a dog walking bag because I feel like it would be a little bit too large for that. This is an incredibly generous bag. I mean, if you look at the size, this would fit probably as much as maybe a medium Chanel bag, or if you're more familiar with Hermes, I would guess that it would fit as much as a Constance 24, even though it doesn't look big, just because it has so much dimension. The body of the bag is so big that this could fit, I would say, everything but the kitchen sink. It's a lot bigger than I expected, and for that reason, I don't think that this is going to work out for me as a dog walking bag. I just simply don't need a bag this big when I'm going out for walks. All I need a bag for is my keys, my phone, a couple of credit cards, some potty bags, some extra treats, and that is pretty much it. Whereas this one would fit 2-3 times that amount, but I'm still considering keeping this, and let me tell you why. When I was playing around with this when I first got it, I actually thought that this would make an incredible travel bag because it is hands-free. It's incredibly light because it's made of nylon. The only details on this bag that are made of leather are the zip pull and then the tiny little tag on the inside. Other than that, this entire bag is made of nylon, and this would fit an incredible amount. Also, it is really subtle, so if you are going to a more touristy spot and you don't necessarily want to draw too much attention to your outfit, this bag is incredibly chic and stylish, but it is so understated, which is kind of what the Row is all about. So I am thinking about keeping this and using it as a travel bag. Not that I have any trips coming up that I would have to fly for, but I feel like when I do, this is going to be the perfect travel bag. So I'm really happy that I got this, even though it's not what I expected. And I would say that if you don't love the Row as much as I do, and if you don't want to test their pieces, maybe get this bag in leather. I don't know if I would recommend that you get the nylon one necessarily. The only reason why I'm not considering returning this and getting the black version is because I feel like if I end up liking this bag, I'll probably just get the leather version in black and have this in nylon in a color, because as I said, I won't be buying more expensive bags in leather. Not that this bag isn't expensive. It is, I think it's a $1,300 bag. So it is definitely up there in price, but compared to some Hermes bags, it is more on the reasonable side. So I'm excited to have it, and I'll definitely keep you posted on how I get on with it. So far, I like the shape. I think it's unique. I like the quality of the zip. I like that it feels really substantial. The feel of the fabric is a little bit cheaper than what I expected. I expected something along the lines of the Prada nylon, whereas this is completely different. And so is the strap. It doesn't feel the most luxurious. Like if you told me that this was a $300 bag, not a $1,300 bag, I would probably believe you, but I am tempted to test it. Please let me know what you think. I haven't taken the label off, so if I want to, I can still return it. And I feel like if I returned it, I would either get the Margot bag, which is on my wish list, or I would get the small banana bag in the leather, of course in black, but I am torn. I'm happy with it and I could see myself using it, but it isn't what I expected. So maybe I have to spend a couple more days just getting used to the idea of getting a nylon bag, which is not the kind of nylon that I am used to. But please let me know what you think. I'll make sure to do some styling shots for you just so you can see what this bag actually looks like on. It kind of reminds me, out of all bags, of the saddle bag from Dior, especially the ones that they are doing for men with the thicker canvas straps. But it is just a little bit more under the radar and subtle, which is definitely the direction that my style is going into. So if you'd like to learn more about the Row banana bag, if you'd like me to come back and do a video for you, let me know. It's definitely something that I would be happy to do for you. But for now, I'm kind of surprised. I just haven't decided if I'm pleasantly surprised or I'm a little bit let down. I'll definitely let you know in the coming weeks. And my friends, this completes today's unboxing. I hope you enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to read in the comment section what was your latest addition to your luxury collection. And I have to say a big thank you to Lily Silk for sponsoring a portion of today's video. All of the details of all the pieces that I tried on, my discount codes, and their anniversary sale will be in the info box for you. So if you love silk, this is the perfect time for you to pick up a beautiful new Mulberry silk piece without breaking the bank. And while you're down there, if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. But thank you so much for watching and being here, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really, really soon.